Hey everybody, it's Lindsay. I hope you all had a wonderful Labor Day weekend. I know I did. It was my best friend's birthday and we actually did a lot of stuff. It was full of activities. We went and did this really cool painting class where you get to sample wine and stuff and she shows you how to paint a picture, so it was super fun. And we went to the beach and went downtown, so it was really a lot of fun. So today's topic, I'm going to be talking about family and how we kind of create our own families beyond just our actual blood family. So just a little bit of background. I actually don't have parents. Of course, I have biological parents, but I don't have a relationship with my mom or my dad. So I wanted to go into a little bit of detail about my family history a little bit. Of course, I won't say names just to protect the privacy of people, but I probably will use nicknames just so people kind of know who they are and get kind of a shout out in my videos. So like I said before, I didn't grow up with parents, and so for the first 10 years of my life, I was living with my mom, and my mom is actually a severe drug addict. For those of you who don't know, she's actually still struggling with the addiction. Actually, I don't even know where she is. If she's alive, I'm not really sure where she is or what she's doing. She pretty much abandoned my brothers and I when we were little, and we just were pretty much homeless. Actually, we were homeless for like the first 10 years of my life. So I was born in Colorado, but my mom decided to move us out to Arizona, and from there we were pretty much homeless up until I was about 11 years old, and my grandparents came and got us from Arizona and we lived with them. As for my dad, I don't really have a relationship with him. He's healthy. He's not, on drugs or alcohol or anything. He just wasn't a part of our lives, and he actually got married and had two children of his own, and I just don't really have a relationship with him. So there's no resentment or anything towards either one of my parents. It's just they're not a part of my life. So like I said, I grew up with my grandparents and with my brothers. I have four brothers. Three of them are living. I actually lost my little brother when I was 8 years old, and he had spinal meningitis, and he was 8 months old when he passed away. So I have three brothers, and I love them all. I'm not as close as I once was to them. We just kind of all went our separate ways, but I love them dearly. Anyways, we grew up with my grandparents, and it was a pretty tumultuous relationship that I had with my grandparents, just because we were kids coming from the street with really no structure, and then we moved into this super strict household, and I could tell that now, being older, I know that it was really hard for my grandparents, and they really did the best that they could. Here they are with four kids, and they're supposed to be retired. They raise their kids, and now they have a new bunch of kids that they are responsible for, and I'm really grateful that they did take us in. Before I moved to my grandparents, though, I lived briefly with a friend of mine from school. Actually, not briefly, I mean for a really long time. I basically called her one day when my mom deserted us and said, hey, could I come spend the night? And can my little brother come too? And at that time, my little brother was about 2 months old. So her mom gets on the phone and says, yeah, what's going on? And so I kind of told her what was going on, and I ended up living with them for months. And I am so grateful to them, because without her and her family, I wouldn't be alive. And I don't think my little brother would be alive either. They literally saved our lives. And they treated us like we were their own kids. And I'm just forever grateful to them. I still love them to this day, and they're a big part of who I am. I consider them my sisters and my parents. I love them to death. So when I moved in with my grandparents, we had a lot of interaction with my aunts and my uncles. I have two aunts and two uncles, and because my mom had us at such a young age, my aunts and uncles are pretty much like siblings, not really aunts and uncles. So I got some guidance from them, but I didn't really have a lot of parental influence. My grandparents worked a lot, and it was just a big burden on them for us to be there. So I got some guidance from my aunts. But along the way, I was lucky enough to have some very special people touch my life and kind of take me under their wing. One person who's very important to me is my best friend, Shmevi. I love him so much, and, you know, even though we don't talk every day, when we do talk, it's as if we've been, you know, chatting it up every day. And his mom, she is just a wonderful woman, and she's always been there for me as long as I can remember. And I love the fact that I'm a part of their family. Then, you know, of course, I do keep in touch with a very special woman in my life, and she's actually my 6th grade art teacher. And to this day, we keep in touch. And in fact, I actually took a trip back in May to Colorado, and we got together. And of course, every time we do, it's just a bunch of tears, and, you know, because we just love each other so much, and she just means the world to me. And then I was able to have another mentor in high school, and she was another incredible woman in my life. And, you know, all these women, mostly women, I guess, in my life kind of took that role of my mom. And when I went to the university, the director at the Cultural Center, she really took me under her wing, and she's such an amazing soul. I really do think that she is an angel walking this earth. She's been there for me countless times, and I just love her so much. And then a couple special people in my life are my old roommates in Colorado. We also like to call ourselves Feldspar, and they were just there for me to support me all the way. And one of them, she was actually my personal nurse pretty much when I got sick, so that was awesome. And then when I joined my sorority, that was a very big influence in my life, and I don't know if these girls really grasp how big of an influence they were. I mean, these girls changed my life. I love them so much, and they mean the world to me. So I really kind of clung to that connection, and my line sisters are awesome. You know, the sisters that I'm close with, I just love them to death. Especially my line sister, who actually passed away a few years ago because of complications of her lupus. I miss her every day, and I think about her all the time. But she was such a good friend to me, and I love those girls for how they contributed to my life and just were there for me. And I know that if I ever needed anything, they would be there for me. So that was awesome. And then my best friend, who I live with right now, she's an incredible woman. She has changed my life, and, you know, her family took me in when I decided to up and move to Florida. And I just really appreciate being a part of their family. We're kind of this hodgepodge group, and they're just crazy, and we have a lot of fun. But she opened my eyes to a lot of things and helped me experience a lot of different things in life, and just, you know, made me remember that anything is possible. So I really appreciate that. But I kind of wanted to touch on family and how sometimes people feel like they're obligated to maintain these relationships with their bloodline, even though the relationship may be toxic. And I just don't really believe in that. I don't think you should feel obligated to keep people in your life if they're toxic. One of the reasons I don't have any contact with my mom or my dad is just because I didn't think that those relationships were healthy. Especially my mom, more so than my dad. My dad kind of does his own thing. My mom was just not a good situation. I pray that she's okay, whatever it is she's doing, if she's even alive, I don't know. But I just think that, you know, relationships, even with your family, they're a two-way street. So if you're not getting what you need, and they're not being supportive of you, and they're not loving, then you don't need to have them in your life. If they're toxic, just let it go. I think you can create your own family as a, you know, friends, family, whatever. You can create your own family based on what you think and based on the people that you want to have in your life, not just your relatives. And maybe that's harsh to say, but honestly, like, you got to do your own thing. And my family is mostly made up of my friends. I'm a lot closer to my friends than I am members of my family for good reason. And I think that, you know, you just need to remove the toxic people out of your life, regardless if they're blood or not. And, you know, maybe people don't agree with that, and that's fine. But, you know, a good friend of mine did remind me, though. She gave me some really good words of advice this week, and she just said, you know what, Lindsay, embrace it all. The good, the bad, just embrace it all. And I really appreciate that, because that kind of struck a nerve with me. You know, forgiveness is a really big thing, and I don't have any resentment towards my parents or anybody in my life, but I definitely just kind of remove myself from the situation, and I encourage others to do the same. If it's a bad relationship with your family or whatever, try to work it out, but if not, just, you know, stick with the people that are positive in your life and the people that love you and support you, not the people that are trying to bring you down, even if it is your family. And I know firsthand that sometimes your closest family members are the ones who are going to discourage you, and that's unfortunate, but it is out there. So like I said, you know, I just wanted to mainly give a shout out to the important people in my life who have been my family, my extended family. I love you guys so much, and I am so grateful for you, you know, creating me into the woman that I am today. I know in my last video and kind of in this video, I'm like super serious, but I'm not that serious of a person. And as you can see, kind of side note, I am currently a ginger right now, and that's because I'm trying to go blonde and I'm not bleaching my hair, so I'm just lifting it every couple of weeks. So bear with me, as for the next couple of weeks I'm gonna be a ginger with no soul. You know what I'm referring to. Next week I'm not sure what topic I want to talk about yet, but I hope that you stay tuned, watch my videos. If you have any comments or questions about family, or you want to share your story with me about what kind of family you've created, I definitely welcome that. Like I said, it's more of like a shout out video that I did this week to the important people in my life. I hope you guys know that I love you so much and I appreciate you, and just thank you for everything you've done for me and all the support. And I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you next video. Enjoy your night. Bye.